Good evening and welcome to Sunday News Special. My name is Augusta Sien and it's my pleasure to present tonight with...
My name is Ayano Paul.
Ayano, it's good to see you. You look beautiful as always.
You look beautiful too, Augusta.
Okay, thank you for your time tonight. It's our pleasure to have you. Without you, of course, there will be no Sunday News Special. What would we be doing if we don't have you to watch us? Here are the headlines of what will be coming your way today. Akwa Ibom Deputy Governor heightens call for female participation in politics.
Stakeholders reunite as People's Democratic Party holds ward meeting in Akwa Ibom.
Fattening room culture focus on Ethiopian Kael Fat Main Festival.
And experts views on health benefits of mushroom.
These and other stories when we return. Okay, today is the last Sunday in the month of August, and a lot of people went to church to thank God, and various other people stayed at home still to thank God. Yeah, I know. Did you go to church today?
Yes, I did, and it was fantastic.
Okay.
Amazing for seeing the last Sunday.
And we're eternally grateful to God. So also did the Deputy Governor go to church. When she went, she charged women not to forget their role as kingdom ambassadors, whose duty primarily is to represent God and attract people to his kingdom. Senator Yahaya stated this while presenting a paper on the theme "The Prevailing Woman in Politics" at the annual Women Prayer Retreat of Umaopa Evangelistic Association holding at the church auditorium. Our Government House reporter Utbi Maukun was there and now reports.
Senator Yahaya described prevailing women in politics as those who through participation have gained control, influence and ascendancy to the level of decision making, especially the management and distribution of resources for the public. She explained that for one to have a beautiful story and interesting journey in politics, they must rise above disappointment, betrayals, failures, setbacks, blackmails, insults and even persecution, while believing God for innovation at the right time. Senator Yahaya enumerated some justifications to guide prevailing women to participate in politics, to include submission to the will of God, prayers, numerical strength, respect, humility, loyalty, hard work, diligence and being purposeful, saying failure to do these things has crushed the home of many married women who participated in politics.
The crown has always been for the overcomers. The crown has always been for the prevailing ones. If you don't win, you can't be a champion. And for you to win, you must prevail. You must push. You must stand up to say that you promised me this. Upon your word, I stand and I claim what is my right.
Yahaya reiterated that any woman that wants to succeed, whether at home, office, or political arena, must always acknowledge the place of the man as the head, in line with the fact that Christ is the head of the church.
God is not a respecter of persons or gender. In his sovereignty, he chooses and anoints whom he wants, whether male or female. Politics is for the choosing of the Lord. There is no day I leave my house for the number of years I've remained in politics. Every day I step out, my husband will hold my hand and bless me, say go. Why won't I succeed?
In a response, Pastor Philomena Pai appreciated the Deputy Governor for gracing the event and prayed that God will continue to sustain and give her the wisdom to carry on with the assignments expected of her office as the Deputy Governor.
From today, she is one of us.
worship, choir ministration, and prayers for the state and nation.
If you ask me, annual women prayer retreat is very essential. It's a period or occasion where women gather, come together to review and to get people who are more experienced in certain areas to teach them, to get to know what they may not have known well. And in this year's zone, at the Umakwa Evangelistic Association, it's still going on in the auditorium of the church. We had, the occasion was graced by the Deputy Governor, who delivered a paper on the prevailing women in politics. Prevailing women in politics, she enumerated, would have to do with diligence, prayerfulness, and also being consistent with her work as first to God, her responsibility, her role first to God, then to her family, and then of course to the society.
Yes, women play a pivotal role everywhere in the society, in the church, and the communities. And there is nothing you do that you don't find women. And above all, women worship God the most. That is, if I'm not wrong. So for a woman to prevail, it means you have to stand out. You have to do something extraordinary. And when you prevail in politics, like the Deputy Governor said, she's trying to ensure that women come out of the shell to join politics. It's not better to stay at the corner and be criticizing and be lamenting. So all they want now is for women to participate fully in politics, even as Christians. Because believe me, it is Christians that should be leading everywhere in politics, so that at least things can be better.
Yes, and also while participating in politics as a career, it is very important that they represent God well in their career as kingdom ambassadors. I want to recall that that's what the retreat is all about, kingdom ambassadors. How are you representing God, even as a political, as a politician, even as a woman? How are you placing not just the fact that, yes, as a Christian, Jesus is the head of the home, your husband now as the head of the family. How do you show respect to your husband, and how do you make out time, to cater for your children and your extended family members, even as the society also has a great demand on you as a politician? All said and done, the most important thing is that we political women or politicians should represent God, represent the society well as kingdom ambassadors.
And as kingdom ambassadors, it is expected that you don't only exhibit those virtues in the church. You should extend it to your office. You should extend it to the market. Don't only worship God as a woman in the church. It is expected that wherever you are, those characters should be shown. At least people should know that you are a kingdom ambassador.
All right.
Moving on to another story. As observed across the 368 wards of the state, faithful of the People's Democratic Party in Uyo Ward 13 yesterday touched base and interacted on ways to advance the fortunes of the party in the ward. Taking stock of the gains, the chairman of Uyo Local Government Council, Dr. Owemedi Imoh-Odoh, alongside stakeholders, appreciated Governor Moeno for the recently flagged off construction of Tabernacle Road, which connects some communities of the ward. The reports.
Describing the meeting as an initiative of the party aimed at keeping PDP faithful closely knitted, the chairman of Uyo Local Government Council, Dr. Owemedi Imoh-Odoh, said Governor Moeno has shown commitment to giving back power to the people. acknowledging Uyo Ward 13 as one of the premier beneficiaries of Governor Rumoino's rights agenda, citing the ongoing construction of Tabernacle Road. Dr. Rudolph sued the continued support of the people for the governor and PDP.
Meeting PDP without having so PDP no party the Bible election in boyfriend. I don't know any people in the brain. You know election here, but if you don't meet it, he come over. You know what's here over. Now you are Pastor Mobasi, no. I didn't see governor. We pledge as a war our unflinching support and solidarity. You know, governor, armor.
The ward meeting provided an opportunity for the official presentation of the PDP ward leader, Obong Etienne James, to the people. Goodwill and solidarity messages were received from stakeholders of the ward, conveying the party's resolve to prioritize the people's welfare and development of the area.
Most especially the national
for this vision, because like this, it's already creating warmth among us. Once in a while, very often, we'll be seeing ourselves. The ambassador of government,
so it's in the maybe associate, Madam Parkes and party. I guess like a party, and do the campaign bring in people. Come on, you don't go party, and get about any other party, but you know what the party care for some other, keep on good to go stronger and stronger. It is a negative one.
Samuel Ayara, AKBC News.
Right, this is a very common sight in most of the communities where politicians, especially people of the members of the People's Democratic Party, gather themselves. Could that be referred to as to a thank you, come together, get together to think about how it was during the political time and how they voted, and then to put their house in order to see how they could support the governor in his quest to turn the state to what is expected. All right, the people of Ward 13 in Uyo, they met and then they reaffirmed their support to the governor, especially with the excitement of the Tabernacle Road being flagged off for construction. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think loyalty is a watchword. What I see there is you have to be loyal to your boss, like the chairman of your local government has said. And like you rightly said, Augusta, I think this is like a thank you visit. This is like saying thank you to the people for supporting the person they wanted, the party. So it has been happening and it's going round. I think it will happen in all the wards in the state. It's a good thing.
Over 300.
300, yes, 360 something to be precise. Okay. So it's a good thing. At least the party faithful, they are loyal and they like what they're doing.
Okay. All right, let's quickly move to the next story now. You may want to watch these because irrespective of how modernization has eaten into the fabric of societal beliefs, conviction of some people, mostly Africans, in the observance of their rites and rituals have persisted. These rites have brought them to limelight while also preserving their identity and values. While the fattening room culture is losing its value among the Ibibios, the Bodi tribe of Ethiopia still revere the Akael Fatman festival. In the traditional society of the Ibibio, or some parts of Igbo, the custom requires that when a girl comes of age and before she's given out in marriage, certain cultural rites are performed. One of such is the Mbupu, done when the girl is about 18 years old. Also called the fattening room, was a designated place where young women were sent to live and eat for several months. The goal was to fatten up the bride-to-be, giving her a more mature, full-figured appearance that was seen as attractive and desirable in the society. The practice secluded the girls from their companions, societal interactions, and also from performing their customary duties for a period of 3 to 7 months, depending on her family capability. At this time, older women cared for and instructed them in beauty, etiquette, sexual life, femininity, and motherhood. Most people see this tradition as very important to the society, in that if reintroduced, societal vices will be curbed and norms and values upheld. Whereas the culture is fading away in some parts of Nigeria where slim is in vogue due to Western civilization, for Ethiopians, Bode or Mehen people, bigger is always better. The tribe, which lives in a remote corner of Omo River, is home of an unusual ritual which sees young men, while living in isolation, feed on cow's blood and milk in a bid to be crowned as the fattest man during the New Year or Kayal ceremony. After 6 months of guzzling this mixture, the winner doesn't get a prize, but fitted with a hero for life. 6 months after starting the regimen, the men emerge to show off their newly engorged physique, where the champion is crowned. The fattening process begins 6 months before the ceremony. Every family is allowed to present an unmarried man for the challenge, who, after being chosen, retires to his hut and must not move or have sex for the duration. Feeding is regular, with the mixture saved by the women from the village from sacred cows that must not be killed. The blood is taken by making a hole in the vein of the cow with a spear or an axe, and after that closed with clay. The 2-liter bowl mixture is taken quickly before it coagulates. From sunrise to sunset, the men drink the mixture, although some end up vomiting because of the speed. According to researchers, on the D-Day, the contestants cover themselves in white clay and ash, wearing colorful beaded necklaces and bracelets, with great difficulty to work to the secret tree, helped by women who ply them with alcohol and wipe away their sweat, an occasion for the women to inspect potential husbands. As unusual as this tradition looks, it is revered by the Bode tribe, where the fatter the men, the more heroic, and becoming fat is the dream of every man there. Whereas, as pure and instructive as the Mbupu culture is, it is losing its pride of place over here. Augusta Asien, AKBC News. Well, it is said that one man's meat is another man's poison, whereas the Mbupu culture is losing its grip here in Ibibio. They fix most, especially this group of people, this tribe, Bode tribe, they reside in the Omo River, Omo Valley, around the Omo River in Ethiopia. They revere this culture of theirs of having to, they call it putting Mbupu for the men. Over here is Mbupu for the women. When a girl comes of age, she is kept not just being fed and to grow fat. Of course, then they used to think, our people used to believe once a girl comes of age, she should be, she should have some, let's say, some fat in some areas of her body, extra flesh, extra flesh, or she should look, beautiful to be presented for marriage, and then, or also they would say, so they will allow the woman to stay indoors. But the most important thing then, you want to recall, at least maybe your mother has told you this, that it was mostly for the older women to teach, the Mbupu girls here, how to, the culture of how to take care of the family, how to respect the husband, and what is expected of her in the society. I want to also remember, you'll be taught not just how to cook, they will teach you how to walk as a woman, that you're supposed to, tuck in your stomach, hold your shoulders high. They would place books on your head to teach you how to sit up and walk up straight, and then of course to sit crossing your legs like this, if the camera is showing that, as a woman. But all that is losing its grip over here in our state and Cross River State. I don't know if you know, does it happen in Nsorobium?
I wouldn't know, but thank God that I didn't see that in my time, because even now I'm trying to trim to be fit. So I wonder how people could be giving others so much water to drink, so much food to eat, so that you can blow out of proportion. But what is surprising is that the reverse is the case in Ethiopia. While women were the victims here, let me put it that way, in Ethiopia, you see all those men with pot bellies. It's kind of surprising. How could men be drinking that kind of a thing? Just blood? I mean raw blood with milk? Just to add weight? Well, I may not condemn them because it's a festival. But believe me, if you bring that thing to Akwa Ibom, somebody like Akani Yenokbong will start running. I would really like to see him drink that.
This is the second time I've watched you on this program, and you will like using Akani Yenokbong. I just hope he's not watching, because this time he won't excuse you.
I think he's going to fight with me, but I'll send him to. But
I thought he would use people who are maybe very slim, as an example. Someone, I don't want to mention names, that is operating the system now over there, would be the one to.
No, Akani Yenokbong has the body already.
So you don't want to kill him.
And I like to see him walk like that.
Okay, someone is lifting his hand. Okay, Ubong, I'm talking about Ubong. Is it what? Okay,
come on, they go and drink the liquid.
Well, that's what they give there. But research shows that after being crowned as the fattest man, and he remains the hero, for almost all his life, all through his life, of course, until he gets married, and they begin to lose their weight when they no longer are drinking that. But again, the reverse is the case here. If you're not careful and you've been made to gain such weight as a woman here, it's very difficult. You need to do a lot of exercises, and you also want to know that but for the culture being unnecessarily fat, I said that and you turned to look at me. Would you say I'm just healthy?
No, you're healthy.
I'm just healthy.
You're just having extra flesh.
Okay. That yes, but I'm healthy. I'm healthy. That's the thing. That's the thing. Someone can be very slim, thin, and very, very thin, and then the person is not healthy. So healthy is the word. Kudos to that culture. I understand also that the government of Ethiopia has been trying to extinct that culture, but the people of that area, the Bodi tribe, is saying no, that it is their most prized possession.
I really want to commend them for upholding their culture, irrespective of what it looks like here. Maybe if I was from Bodi, I would have appreciated the culture, but since I'm not there, I don't even want to think about it. Maybe I'll go with everything except for the drinking of that mixture of blood and milk. But I want to commend them for upholding their culture, and I think it's a good thing for them.
Yes, others to also emulate and then preserve a culture, especially culture of Akwa Ibom culture has to do with respect to elders. If we can also, the youth here, forget civilization and modernization. When you see your elder, greet, say good morning, sir. That's what is on other people in other cultures here, even in Nigeria, they do that. So you would want to do that. You'd want to show, humility. That's what an Akwa Ibom man, Akwa Ibom woman, person is known for. So let's keep that part of our culture alive.
And talking about respect, when you see your fellow person greet you or message, please don't say good morning, irrespective of how educated you are. Moving on to another story. Fried, cooked or grilled. As a lover of mushrooms, how do you like yours? Coming in various shapes, sizes and varieties, these culinary delights also have varieties that are not good for consumption. They grow in the wild under hot and humid conditions and advisable to be properly cleaned and thoroughly cooked. If it is dietary, values must be derived in full. Yours truly in this report takes a look at edible and non-edible mushrooms as well as their nutritional value. Mushroom is a conspicuous umbrella-shaped fruiting body of certain fungi, typically of the order of Agaricales in the phylum Basidiomycota, but also of some other groups. Mushroom has existed for ages before now in Achaemenides. In the days, mushroom used to come out of the ground with sizes and colors, and people who see it first were rewarded whenever they shout Mebumudap. It was also found on the trees, especially dead woods.
I used to see it here. We used to go to bush and discover where the thing is.
I cannot forget it at all. I could remember holidays like this, be itching to go to the village so we can pick mushrooms. Those ones we used to call them Mpifia and Nyenye. Then you have the one they call Tinapa. Tinapa is always picked from the tree. There's one they call Mtoto. That one is dark and the ears are so big. The experience was that when we carry a basket into the bush, we will now do it as a sort of competition whose basket will be filled first, and that person will get a prize from our parents.
I, like most people, recall with nostalgia my childhood days. Udap, as mushroom is called here, used to be attributed to good luck and favor from the gods, and it sometimes grew wild in thick forest. I also remember the joy children had when asked to go search for udap. What made mushroom important then, and what were they used for? Why is udap not commonly found these days?
taught me that. So my teacher said, macaroni, shawarma, indomie.
That is very scary. We can't see it anyhow. Yes, you can't see it anyhow.
Generation. I'm more young than Bama. We're about to
The near extinction of mushroom globally is the reason people venture into mushroom farming, since this natural food is very rich in proteins, vitamins and other minerals. Study reveals that there are edible and non-edible mushrooms. So, to identify edible mushrooms, look out for mushrooms without white gills. Look for mushrooms with gills that are brown or tan. Seek out for mushrooms without a ring around the stem. Check beneath the cap of the mushroom for a second bell-like ring of issues that looks a bit like a mini cap beneath the cap, because many mushrooms with this feature are poisonous. Poisonous mushrooms represent less than 1% of the world's known mushrooms, hence constitute the danger and sometimes fatal species. For this reason, mushrooms may be identified by a competent mycological authority before consumption, according to a nutritionist.
Consuming mushroom as one of the vegetables which we call the vegan's meat is as good as consuming meat or fish or chicken. Mushroom contains all the essential vitamins ranging from vitamin A, vitamin C. They contain phytochemicals, phytonutrients, and antioxidants that fight against free radicals. The wild ones are there, so it's not all mushrooms that are edible because of the toxicity in them. The edible mushrooms are so sweet. They are in the like of the intotong I talked about, the inyenye, the nkpifia, the tinaba, and the rest of them. Then the non-edible ones are very big equally. They are wild good, because the moment you pick it, it's like you eating raw cassava or raw soybeans. So the cyanide content, the toxicity is so high that it can make you become ill, and if case knocking, one can die in the process. So that's why not all mushrooms are edible, but the edible ones are very useful enough for health.
Types of mushrooms include button, cap and flat mushrooms, Swiss brown, oyster, king oyster, and Caesar blusher mushrooms. Some side effects of taking mushrooms are tiredness, stomach upset, nausea, skin allergies, and headaches. Thus notwithstanding, mushrooms are known to make the immune system strong. How can mushroom be cultivated? God created everything for the good of man, but man must know what to consume. The same applies to wild and poisonous mushrooms. So, enjoy your mushrooms. That is, if you can come across some.
It does not taste well for me. I don't like it, but like my mushroom, the flower tastes better than mushroom.
So we have to preserve our bush, not all that we should tamper with.
KBC News.
Okay, yeah, no beautiful reports there.
Thank you.
India, if you're still wondering what other business to do, even if you're a civil servant or you're retired or you're looking for what else to do to make ends meet, this is for you. Think of cultivating that little piece of land. Think of turning the very poisonous and the wild beefia, or whatever as they call it, to nurtured one, and you're going to make it in life. You find yourself smiling to the bank. I want to also wonder, would it be referred to as, will mushroom be referred to as meat, or is it a vegetable? Because in those days most homes used it as meat. Every soup, if you didn't put that in, then you haven't started. Perhaps this accounts for the longevity we had in those days, and all these ailments we are hearing now were not there because they ate very fresh and natural things.
Yes, fresh and natural things, you say. I remember in my days as a child, mushroom was not a common thing. In fact, we used to celebrate it whenever you get mushrooms. I didn't tell you that last week I stepped out of this place. Outside the gate I saw a few mushrooms and I had to pick. Well, sorry I didn't give you. It wasn't much. Mushroom is very, very nutritious, and maybe it's the reason why people were not sick anyhow.
Yes.
I think we should go back to those old food, aside from the fact that you don't have it now, especially in this side of the city. Maybe because there's so many bushes have been cleared. I think we should preserve some bushes so that we can have those natural foods that used to make people very healthy. Like that man said, eating of Maggi, shawarma, and Indomie, like you call it, is not very healthy for our people. We need to go back to the roots. We need to eat what our forefathers ate and live 200 and something, 100 and something. And I think mushroom is one of those foods that we should be eating.
Yes, we cannot say everything about mushroom. So we'll be taking a break now. When we return, sight and sounds of AKBC TV Chapel 35th anniversary. And Uyo District 4 Square Gospel Church ends 13th annual convocation. Stay with us.
Across the bridge, there's no more sorrow.
The management and staff of the Department of Establishment commiserates with the Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Esther A. Young, on the death of a beloved father, Apostle E.J. Essien of Mbioto 2, 18 and local government area. Until his death, this honest and astute Christian was an apostle of God, retired in the Apostolic Church Nigeria. A true man of God known for his peaceful disposition, who spent his whole life in the Lord's vineyard. Obsequies as announced by the family is as follows. Saturday, 2nd September 2023. Funeral and Thanksgiving held at Primary School grounds, Mbioto 2, 18 and local government area at 10 a.m. to be conducted by the Apostolic Church Nigeria, 18 and Field. Interment follows at his compound in Noisien Street at Mbioto 2. Apostle E.J. Essien, Etubumo Tanakwaniko and Udombakara, as he was fondly called, is survived by a wife, children, grandchildren, aunties, nephews, nieces, cousins, in-laws, friends and other relatives to bid him farewell. Signed, Mrs. Monsushola O. Wilonsimkala, FAHR, FTA, FIPAN, Director of Administration, 4, Permanent Secretary.
You're welcome back. It is no news that the AKBC TV Chapel of the Nigeria Union of Journalists recently rolled out the drums to celebrate 35 years of existence as the pioneer chapel of the pen profession in Akwa Ibom State. Whatever part of the week-long activities you may have missed, Eliana Paul brings sights and sounds of the celebration, which started on Sunday, August 20th to Friday, August 25th.
The celebration started with a Thanksgiving at the Apostolic Church Obimo, where members of the chapel, veterans of the TV newsroom and friends, led by the chairman Uriakon, appreciated God for sustenance in the past 35 years. They danced, sang, and jubilated, while the chairman, the pioneer chairman, and the invited guests poured the heart of gratitude to God.
Was a big challenge. 85 years after we had founded the chapel, we are still strong.
I will look at it as a connecting rod between the old, the new, and even the present.
We have come to appreciate the quality programming and everything that has to do with the AKBC TV, doing the mother chapel in Akwa Ibom journalism.
The Thanksgiving was followed by a community service with the chapel gathered elders in the 4 host communities of the corporation's transmitting station. While presenting gifts to the elderly, the chairman and executive members thanked them for their cooperation, while the elders and chief expressed appreciation to the chapel for remembering them.
So guess what? Get some phenomenon in front of them. And the ministry the branch is your program. Yeah, I got a lot of people in the game. Maybe you're from
From Tuesday to Thursday, the chapel hosted veterans in the newsroom who, having retired, gave some words of advice.
Challenge is to bring out the you in you.
And this man asked me, what is news? I told him the news is what the editor says is
all aspects of the ideal discipline. Then you have a very long way to go.
So thank you for inviting me here. And I hope that I've been invited many more times.
Job has exposed us so much. And that is why we have to maintain discipline. Everybody in this television stood by me, supported me.
But even then, you may not be perfect. Because sometimes, because of the waves, not as it is dilapidated, but the memory is not dilapidated. You have to think about how to live in your time.
The grand finale of the anniversary was a lecture on the theme Digitization, Refining Journalism Practice in Ekebisi TV in a Global Setting, delivered by Professor Uwemakpan, a one-time staff of the TV newsroom and the head of broadcast department, University of Uyo. There, the Commissioner for Information, the Ekebisi Director General, former Director General, gave messages of solidarity.
Our job mainly is that we are content creators. We create content. To ask government, allow them freedom to exercise what is all about journalism. I'm saying this with all amount of responsibility. At least I've had occasion, or more than one, to discuss this with the governor. We talk about our activating the process for us to be on his TV.
I'm so happy to be here and see all of you progress. The Bible says everything is time and season. I hope that season will come and the time will come.
Congratulations, Ekebisi TV chapter once again. You have the modest support of the NUBA and the bigger level.
And I remember that when we started as a chapel, one very important focus that we had as an executive was to ensure that our members' welfare is accorded top priority.
And I want to thank all of us seated here. This celebration wouldn't have been complete or successful without you. We said God bless you. High point of the celebration was the cutting of anniversary cake, while guests were treated to sumptuous delicacies.
S-U-S. Amen.
Eyagenopo. Ekebisi News. I tell you, it was a full package. If you had missed something with this report, I'm sure you saw how it was. Most importantly was the homecoming, where all the veterans, all the people who stayed in the newsroom as reporters, as editors, came together on this very important occasion, and we rubbed minds for the betterment of the newsroom and the TV chapel. It was an amazing week for Ekebisi TV chapel. If you missed, sorry, maybe you join us some other time, and congratulations to my chapel. Moving on to another report, the 13th annual convocation of the First Way Gospel Church, Uyo District, has been concluded at the church headquarters with a charge on the faithful to get a new chapter of life with the half unflinching faith in God. The South Zonal Coordinator of the Foursquare Gospel Church, General Reverend Godi Eboje, gave the charge today at the closing ceremony of the convocation, which featured Thanksgiving stations, prayers, and word ministration, among others. Mercy Okere reports.
The convocation, which began Friday, brought together faithful from all the churches in the district. Preaching on the theme of the convocation, manifestation of next chapter, the South Zonal Coordinator, Foursquare Gospel Church, Reverend Godi Eboje, charged the faithful to flee from sinful ways if they must experience the next chapter of their lives, explaining that the next chapter is about positive change in the life of believers as a result of God's favor and mercies.
In that long time of separation, it may have been children that have become rebellious. It may have been husband that abandoned the children, abandoned the home. It may be the wife that has left. But this God of heaven says, by reason of this next chapter convocation, there will be massive family reunion and reconnection.
The Uyo District Overseer and State Pastor, Foursquare Gospel Church, Reverend Victor Akpan, made prophetic declarations over the congregants.
I declare that from now till 2024 convocation, may angels of protection be assigned to follow you, travel with you, abide with you, wherever you will be in the name of Jesus.
The service featured unveiling of the theme for next year's convocation, Rest on Every Side, presentation of prizes to winners of the children's quiz competition, as well as presentation of messages of felicitation by guests at the event, including the representative of the President, Lutheran Church of Nigeria, Bishop Chris Ekong.
I am persuaded that the Lord will use you to bring down His blessings on every soul that participates in the events of their convocation.
Speaking with AKBC News, the church faithful said they were excited to move to the next chapter of their lives.
We are all expecting our next chapter to be better than what we have entered into, next chapter of success. Those that will be believing God for promotion, for success, it has started.
We are praying that all of us will get into the next chapter of our lives in Jesus' name.
And with the opening of this new chapter in our lives, every other chapter that didn't help us in life or did not give us a direction in life is closed.
God wants us to move to the next chapter, the next experience, the next lifting, the next location, the next position. So that's where God is putting us to.
Mercy Okere, AKBC News.
Congratulations there to members of Foursquare Gospel Church for the 13th annual convocation ongoing.
It's amazing to be in God's presence, and for them, congratulations too. Now to our last reports. It was a sight to behold when the village head of Oku, Ibiako, in the Uyo local government area, Tedon Gabriel Mbeke, exchanged marital vows with his heartthrob, Sergeant Dorothy Ta of Ibiakoran in Oran local government area. The wedding ceremony, which climaxed with a Thanksgiving service, took place at St. Peter's Catholic Church, Ibaoko Parish, Uyo, as Juliet Richard reports.
A
Etidon Gabriel Mbeke and Dorothy Ita, while declaring their marriage vows, promised to love and care for each other all the days of their life. Their vows were sealed with the exchange of ring and signing of marriage certificates.
I am here to pledge you, Dorothy Ita, to you my wife. I will love you and honor you all the days of my life.
I, Dorothy Ita, take you never back again to be my husband. I promise, be true to you. I will love you and honor you all the days of my life.
Admonishing the couple, Reverend Ebebe Aya urged the husband to love his wife just like Christ loves the church, urging the wife to reciprocate the love with submissiveness. He advised them to, most importantly, allow Christ to be at the center of their union.
Remember, it is for better, for worse. It is not only when things are good. When things are bad, you are there. When things are not good with your husband, you stand there, you are there. When your husband is in a tight corner, you stand by your husband. That's what that is. When your wife is in a tight corner, you stand by her. Your wife is your better half. If your wife is not there, things will be much more difficult for you. Your wife has to be there. She's a great source of support for you. You don't turn her into a slave. She is a great part of you. And I'm very glad I'm here to celebrate this wedding today. God has blessed it. As we are all smiling and celebrating, there is the same smiling and celebration in heaven. God's holy, God's day. What we have said is what God is also saying. The blessing we need here today is God's own blessing. It doesn't come from any source. May that blessing go with you now and forever.
At the reception, the couple performed their first matrimonial assignments of cutting their cake and feeding each other. In a remark, the chairman on the occasion charged the people of Ibalku village to emulate the good example of their village head.
By emulating the good example of your family head.
Witnesses of the ceremony were thrilled with different cultural display.
On the
The ceremony climaxed on Sunday with a Thanksgiving service at the same church. Richard, AKBC News.
Congratulations to the latest couple in town. Etidon Gabriel Mbeke is a regular face on our morning show here, Ntiantia Asaka, and so we had to create time to honor him with this. He honors us with his presence and his intelligence. He speaks well on this program on Ntiantia Asaka, so we had to bring this in. Congratulations. And from the sights and sound there, you could see that it was the wedding of an Etidon. You saw all the traditional things, and of course the wife is of the Nigerian police, and you saw what happened there.
Yeah, that was a beautiful sight indeed, and I like the smiles all throughout Etidon's face. You know that it is regularly said that if there's a wedding, you will see the couple will not be smiling, because it's like everything on his head Whereas the bride will be smiling, but this one, the bride and the groom were smiling. And I like the part the wife said, "Eri my be me," and placed her hand on the shoulder. Ayobetiro was very, very happy about that. Congratulations to them once again.
Who wouldn't be? And of course, we are very happy here too. This program has come to an end, and successfully at that. We want to thank you very much for your time and urge you to join us same time next week on your darling station. On behalf of the production crew, Samuel Ayara, Margaret Bassey, and of course AINO, my co-presenter, and all the people here in the studios, I want to say do have a wonderful week ahead, and God bless you.
Thank you so much. We know that without you out there will be the program will not exist. So thank you so much for your time. God bless and good night.